Hey everyone, so you're probably thinking Kirsty looks a bit different. I'm Jodie. You should probably already know that if you watch Kirsty's videos. We're both doing Vidij, so we thought it'd be quite a good idea to swap channels and post a video on each other's channels. We weren't really restrictive with this. We decided to choose a topic and then we both would just come up with our own idea based on that topic. The topic that we chose was school, which I feel is quite fitting because me and Kirsty actually met in school when we were in primary school. For my video, I decided to talk about kind of like some of the odd things that I remember doing in school. And when I look back now, I'm like, why the hell did we used to do that? I'm hoping that you watching this video, you might relate to some of this stuff. And hopefully I wasn't like the only odd one that did some of this stuff. Starting with kind of like the games and like, I don't know, like activities and stuff we used to do in school to like pass the time. So I remember like some of the games we used to play in primary school, now thinking about it, like why did we get entertainment out of those games? I remember a game called like Heads Down Thumbs Up, where you basically, everyone would put their heads down on the table and everyone put their thumbs up, heads down, like heads down, thumbs up. A few people would be on and the people that were on would pinch people's thumbs, and then the people whose thumbs got pinched then had to guess who pinched their thumb. So entertaining when you're like a year 6 in school. Do you remember bogies? I used to love bogies and Dick and Dom. The entertainment you used to get from just screaming bogies, hopefully without getting noticed by like teachers and stuff. So much as well, like you used to do in school, and you used to just believe it was true. So do you remember when everyone used to put like buttercups under their chin to see if you liked butter? And then there'd be that one kid that doesn't like butter and they'd be like adamant that the buttercup was wrong. It's like, no, you cannot disrespect the buttercup is always right. I also remember we just like to inflict pain on each other, especially in secondary school. So I remember there was, do you remember banana car? Was that a thing everywhere? Like where you would see a yellow car, and if you see a yellow car you can punch your friend in the arm and be like, banana car. My school also had the beauty of wearing ties. So of course there were peanut wars all the time. A peanut was basically you try and catch someone off guard and you'd pull their tie as tight as possible so that it would get stuck in a really big knot. It was just a nuisance because the amount of times I had to then sit there for about 5 minutes in my lessons, when I should have probably been listening, just trying to pull out the knot that was left behind by the peanut. So I remember in school like your stationery could predict the future. I remember you used to have those rubbers that you used to write yes, no on. You basically used to use this rubber to make decisions for yourself. We were putting our future on what a rubber said. I remember at my school as well, we used to have planners, which is what you're meant to put all your homework in and important dates and things like that. But I used to just graffiti all over my planner, and I remember I always used to write in my planner like who I had a crush on. Then I'd be mortified when one of my friends would take my planner and then be like, oh, you have a crush on this person, and then they go tell everybody. It's almost like I wanted people to find out, and then I complained when people did. I was like, well, maybe just keep those thoughts in your head instead of writing them down where everybody else can see. Being in secondary school, we used to have blazers and shirts and ties, and they used to be like, especially in the younger years, like when everyone gave a shit what like everybody else thought about them, there used to be so many rules about how you could wear your uniform, and if you didn't wear your uniform that way you were just like really uncool. And because we had blazers, the blazers come with buttons on the front because obviously you're meant to do the blazers up, but nobody ever did. And not only were you not allowed to do your blazers up by like these unwritten rules, you also weren't allowed to have blazer buttons on, so everybody used to just pull the buttons off. Why does my level of coolness depend on whether I've got buttons on my blazer or not? Our ties used to have stripes on them, so kind of like how cool you were or like how nerdy you were would be determined by like how many stripes you had showing on your tie. So if you had like more than like 3 stripes showing on your tie, then you were just like a complete nerd, and it's like, what are you doing with your life? I think the weirdest thing on the uniform kind of side was, I remember there was a time in school the girls used to bring like those really small like envelope bags, so like little fake level envelope bags. They were literally like this big as their bag to school, so then you'd have to carry everything else in like a J. Norman carrier bag, and that was considered cool. Tiniest bag which barely even fit your stationery in. And because of that, you then had to carry this humongous carrier bag around all day. I think some of my favourite things that I remember from school that were also quite odd was kind of like on the like social media side back in the days. I'm now 22, so when I was in school, Facebook kind of existed when I was about 13, 14. Same with like Twitter and stuff, but it was mainly all about like MSN and MySpace and Bebo. I remember like MSN used to have all those like emoticons that you'd put in your words. So like you type the letter O and like a donut would come up instead. And I honestly don't understand now why we used to use all these, because you used to have one for basically like every letter, but then it would mean like your messages would be basically unreadable. And also I remember there was a thing on MSN where you could only send, I think, like 5 emoticons in one go. It's just deleting, like, I don't know, like the donut for O or whatever. You would then just try and reword your message, which was just so much more effort. I don't really understand the amount of arguments social media used to cause back in the day. Like, if you didn't put someone in your MSN name, but you put some other people in your MSN name. Bebo had like love that you could give every day. So I think you could give 3 love a day. And all it is just like on your profile you have a little heart and it says how many love you got, and obviously if you've got more love you're obviously more popular. And yeah, you'd only get 3 a day, and then we used to get in arguments if someone promised somebody else their love but then they didn't give them their love and stuff. So you're top 16 on Bebo, so on your friends list your top 16 used to appear on your profile, so obviously that was where you kind of put your best friends. And you'd get really annoyed if you weren't in one of your really good friends' top 16, or if you were in their top 16 but they've like moved you down. It's just absolutely ridiculous now thinking about it. Yeah, that's kind of some of the things I remember from school. Just so funny to reminisce, and I hope like I'm not alone with some of these crazy things. So normal Vidij will resume tomorrow and Kirsty will obviously be back on her channel, but I hope you've enjoyed my short visit and obviously check me out, and thanks for having me, Kirsty.